Alright, so you find yourself in a tavern. After completing another contract and another day, another dollar, as the saying goes, decide to cash in and get a few beverages with your current party. Jalug, you have been traveling with this party for a while now and doing a couple of odd jobs here and there, but you find yourself at the bar getting around for everyone. The tavern is a familiar one here in the land of Sire. The war is going on and it's tough work out there, but you need to make money somehow. The tavern is located on the glass plateau, and the views here are stunning. You gather all 3-4 of the mugs of ale, tankards, turn around and see back at the table the Warforged relic, the half-orc, Overus, and the elf, Thunderland. And you take the mugs back, and they all greet you with a bit of a nod and happy to see the bottom of those barrels. You sit down. The Warforged relic is working on something as he always is, altering his holy symbol a little bit of the sovereign host, and maybe saying a little prayer under his breath. He knows that not everyone partakes, but he likes to bless the food and beer before everyone consumes it. The half-orc slaps down some pieces of paper on the table and goes, "Oh, there's slim pickings these days, slim pickings for sure. Here, what, we're going to go find some scrap in some backwater town. This one, go and chase some furry one-armed cat around the continent. This one here, go to the capital and help be bodyguards for people. Have you found anything?" And you get the thought of your current contract in your head as he looks expectantly to hear some details of what might be in store for them.
Yes, it's very slim, but we take what we can. I heard that there's been a bit of a problem, sort of up north. The dwarves, I don't know. It might work out.
The Warforged leans forward. "Well, I have not travelled up to the north, but as it goes, we always travel together and we know we'll be safe." And as he says this, you remind yourself that you haven't seen Relic in a long time, and it's weird that he's sitting here. Even though the fire is burning in the tavern, you feel a cold shiver come over yourself. And Relic says, "Have you ever travelled to the north? The dwarves? What is your experience with them?"
Yes. And no, the last when we were fighting, and this is all very, and his head just starts throbbing again.
Starts throbbing, and as you rub your temples, You go to take another swig of this ale. Oh, and it's coarse and gross, and you look down in your mug and you see that it's filled with sand. Another cold shiver comes over you, and you see your three mercenaries that you traveled with just start fading away, and you recall that you've had this dream multiple times, and it always ends the same way. As the room starts dissolving around you into this barren wasteland, you get the memory of that moment post-war 6 years ago. And it's still cloudy, and you still can't quite piece together what happened, but you remember the wasteland in front of you. And that's when you wake up by your campfire on the side of the mountain. The cold breeze, it's picked up a bit. Dawn is just approaching as you were heading to the forge in the mountains. Could you please describe what Jalug looks like and does as he packs up and continues on? He's very close at the moment, but you've just kind of camped on the side of a mountain. You find yourself in this almost like a canyon kind of thing. The wind is picking up through the center of it. There's a little bit of snow on the peaks of the mountain, but probably not quite far down as you. But there's no sun. It does not hit the side of the mountain kind of thing. That kind of cold morning breeze.
Jalug, while they're not warm, they're not cold. Years and years of roughing it, in various war camps around the place, many battles, and then the long years of wandering have inured him to simple things like the cold. He pulls the cloak off the ground and reattaches, and quick little rub, and begins packing up the few little things, the bedroll, eating some dried hard bread, but always with one eye roaming. If you were to zoom out a little bit, you'd see pale green, in some places almost translucent, sort of around the edges of the ears and the raised parts of the eyebrows, the long distinctive hair and ears of a hobgoblin. And Jalug, the first thing and the last thing that he picks up is an overly large sword. Reaching for it just to make sure that it's there, of course, but then actually picking it up as he stretches a little bit, a couple of little swings just to loosen up those stiff muscles, and looks further up the mountain, looks back where he was lying, scoffs, and begins to climb again.
As you swing your weapon around, you get back into that flow of it's almost like doing morning stretches when you wake up, and you just get back into that flow. That if you need to move that weapon at any speed or anything, it's almost an extension of your arms. And before, you sheath it and finish packing up, and like you said, you look back at where you were lying, and really it's glad that you're not a tossing and turning sleeper, because the ledge is not too far away. And not that you've never you're a pretty experienced traveler, but you can sometimes get those moments where you go, yeah, a bed would have been nice here, but you carry on. Takes you about an hour or so to climb, and the temperature is cold. You are used to it, but you can definitely feel it still. You make sure that you keep your wits about you. And before long, you arrive at what seems to be a village of sorts. You approach with caution, but also you are confident in the way you walk. You are confident in your abilities and any encounters you might come into. But strange enough, this seems like yet another deserted mountain village. What I'd like from you is a investigation or perception check, please.
First roll.
First, here we go. Don't fuck it up.
I think you're trying to
Natural one,
investigate.
you move on and you leave the party.
Reese's fantastic, massive, huge arc is just gone. It's not a natural one. That is a 4 for a total of 6.
Sure. That's fine. What it more is entailing is you're kind of looking at this, the layout of this village. Now, you've heard from the villages of the dwarves and of the moorholds that they have been raided. They have been... problems have occurred from these mountain folk. And you think to yourself, well, maybe this is one of their residences, where they're coming from. You are on a mission and you do have a task at hand. And you see some straw huts, kind of in a circular kind of like yurt fashion. You see a mill. The river is moving the gears around. But with that perception check, you don't quite see the body on the ground until you kind of kick into it. And as you look down and then realize there are about 7 or 8 yak folk. Cut. Dead. And fresh. Bodies lying around this place. A combat has definitely happened recently. And it kind of puts you on alert. Your palm kind of just hovers over your great sword. Your ears prick up. But it's dead silent here. Except for the churning of that mill by the water. Just creaking and croning. For brevity's sake, you kind of have a look around the village. It seems again like it has been looted. Which is odd. You have come from these villages of civilization and fine dwarven miners and folk saying that they have been raided, and it looks like this mountain village has been raided itself. Is this a two-way thing? Are you only hearing one part of the story? You're not so sure. You investigate a little bit longer. You find bits and pieces, some tools and, odd trinkets that are not worth any of value. What is worth noting, though, is when you investigate the mill, it appears that there is an elevator shaft that goes down into the mountain. Gears that the mill is turning look like they switch on somehow to activate the elevator to come up and down. Now, I'm not too sure how familiar Geelong is with mechanics and stuff. Maybe your old party member Relic took more care of that, but it does look like this contraption is a bit more than just a tribal put together. It looks built on purpose. What is noticeable, though, is the iconography of flames and anvils, identifying that this may be an entrance to a mountain forge, something that you in particular have been looking for. Next to the elevator is the elevator. Sorry, I would say again, the elevator platform is not there. There's an empty shaft that goes down into the darkness. Maybe someone has taken it down there. But what is next to the elevator is a set of stairs. It looks like a tunnel of sorts, a manual way to get down. You light your torch, and Not to take control of the character, but to get you into
No,
the...
no, I was going to head down anyway.
Yeah. Um, uh, I guess it would be worth asking: do you light a torch, or do you have dark vision? What would your entering a
I would
dark tunnel be?
certainly initially. I think Jalug would head down without, without the torch initially, just as it's hoping going as far as he does. Like technically have dark vision, go as far as he can, but using that light behind. But he's not stupid. If he needs the torch, he'll put the torch on, because
Sure.
even if it'll attract other people, at least he can see him to kill him.
I think that's definitely worth noting, is that he, like I said, when you're approaching this village, you're confident in yourself. You light that torch, and you can talk to someone that approaches you, or you can draw swords with them. It's one of two options most of the time you've found in the wilderness, but you go into these tunnels and they start winding and they start offshooting in different directions. But what you do notice is the heat starts getting more, and you can feel it kind of almost on your skin. The air is setting to be heavier down here. I'd like a survival check from you, please.
That is a 14.
14. As you're going down these tunnels, you hear off to the distance light echoes of conversation. It only sounds like one or two people. But let's say you come to almost a crossroads or a fork in these tunnels, and down one tunnel you can hear light conversation. The other one seems to remain dead silent, apart from maybe a light rumbling of sorts. Nothing threatening, but like kind of just that mountain. When air blows through a cave system, that kind of thing. What I'd like to know is what path would you like to choose to go down?
Do I at all recognize the language, even if I can't understand it, or is it's just a muffled voice kind of?
Very light echoing, and give me an insight check actually. It's very light on the wind, but this insight might not good.
Well, that would be a 1.
Yeah.
So no.
Indistinguishable, but it does sound like one or two people.
Yeah, I think he'd head towards again, as I said, confident. I think he'd head towards the voices, like not
charging,
but like yeah.
You pick up the pace a little bit, and it seems to be very sporadic. It's almost like they seem to be wanting to not be heard. It's light little bits of conversation. But before too long, you start to see tracks on the ground. You've been in mines before, and you've been around the dwarves, and tracks are always used for carts moving material, and that's when you notice on the walls all these torches are starting to appear. They're not lit, but it looks like this is almost the point of where the mining is up to. And in front of you there is a trolley cart on the tracks. The voice you heard continue on past it. Would you like to interact with it at all?
Is it empty?
It is currently empty, yes.
I think Jalug will probably just keep going past it. If it's empty, I don't think he'll try and push it or anything. I think he'll just keep moving.
Sure. You keep moving down this corridor, and you see a light starting to emit from the end of it. You move a little bit closer, you hear chains and mechanics moving. It seems like there's some sort of workshop ahead. As you do, you almost hear a rumbling. And you quickly check behind you, and you see that cart is stationary. It's not moving at all. But it seems like something somewhere is. You move closer to the light at the end of the tunnel. Not too...
Very, very short-lived character.
And thanks for joining us. All right, so... and just as you approach, you can see figures moving. And a chain along the ceiling with looks like carts with no wheels attached to them. While you're approaching, Hera, you and Ghost are seeing a very similar sight ahead of you. You also have a cart coming from behind you, rolling down the tracks, causing this rumbling. It has already passed Puck and Molokov, flying past them. But now you, Ghost, and your buddy stuck in a tunnel with a cart appearing behind you. What would you like to do? You're muted.
Yeah, so what was it? That's what you said, you're stuck in a cart.
So you're in the
I
tunnel?
was stuck in a tunnel with a cart. Yeah.
What would you like to do?
And because we don't know that Molotov and Puck are behind us, do we?
You do not.
There's nowhere really for us to go.
I think we had just earringed at each other, hadn't we?
Yes, so you did know that you were trying to catch up with each other? But Puck and Molokov, you had backed yourselves into a corner and watched this cart fly past you. Ghost had identified that it looks like this is almost on an automatic system. The cart comes back and forward automatically. What I want to know, basically, Hera, since you're going to be the decision maker here, is are you going to try and let the cart pass you, or are you going to try and get out of the cave before the cart passes you?
It looks like the cart goes out of the cave and away, or and then stops there.
It looks like it stops there. So what I can do is I can actually show you.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I was just wondering whether we'd let it just go past us and come, because we're pretty much right up by the end of the cave, I thought, or close by at least. Well, it's very dark.
That should have summoned everyone.
Yeah, that's right up there.
And you were aware as well, and Jalug, you would have
there.
seen this as well. The creatures in front of you are salamanders. And if you want to scroll back up in the chat, there's an image of what they look like there. Look like they are attaching and loading these chain carts up. But what we're doing right now is we're kind of going through this 1 second as this cart is flying down the rails of this other track that you're not on.
Yeah, come there. I think we will try and let it slide past us, like push the wall, me and Ghost, and then...
Yeah, so what I'm going to need is dexterity saving throws from you and your little friend.
Yeah, let me...
And now is also probably a great time to mention as well, when a party member is away, and Jalug, you can tap into this if you think it's appropriate. Instead of running their character, everyone gets one re-roll in combat and 1 reroll out of combat. So basically an advantage in combat and out of combat, and you can flavor it as them running into help or them firing a crossbow from the other side of the room or whatever. So basically a inspiration for the session, out of combat, in combat, once for each thing. But otherwise they kind of pass checks, they won't die, so on and so forth, because that's really stink to come back and have a new character. Dexterity saves for you and your friend, please, Hera.
Yeah. Okay, let's I'll redo that one. So Dex save for me. Fuck, this is gonna be an 11. And under saving throws for the zombie, it's only got wisdom.
Just use its dexterity.
Or like modifiers under the thing. Do I just use its normal?
Yeah.
Yeah. 12.
12. So, what I'm going to say is Ghost...
So 11 and...
and 12, yeah. So, what Ghost is going to do is, being more of short stature, he's going to think fast and look at the mechanics of this cart and just lie flat on the track. And by the time you realize what he's doing, the cart goes over him and bumps into you and your friend, shoving you down. It's not any damage, but what it will do is it'll move you two out into the area here. As it does, it comes to a screeching halt, and you see the salamanders slither round. Jalug, you would notice this as well, is that they've caught attention of something happening, and you hear a bit of a crash. I would now like everyone to roll initiative, please.
Do I roll for
For your guy?
me as well?
Golem.
Yeah. Check this.
What does it say to do?
Yeah, it's hard. I'm just going to read this. Adam first.
While you're reading it, though, Ghost is not...
Oh, sorry. On each of my turns, I can use... it just says, on each of your turns, you can use a bonus action to magically command any creature you made the spell.
Yeah, and then it will act
60 feet.
straight after you, I guess.
If you...
Molokov, what'd you get?
An 18.
Hera?
Sorry. Plus 1, so 19.
Puck?
Modified 20.
It's a 0, and Jaluk?
I got a 13.
13. Oh, you entered it yourself. What a nice little player. I
didn't know where
you
to
can
put
have
it. I was
advantage
like,
on your next roll. See, guys, this is how people actually play.
I feel like I didn't even know you could do that.
I didn't realize you could do that either.
Could have been
That's
saving
all right.
so
I'm
much time.
desperately trying to remember. I'm trying to remember how to move my character in Roll20. So that's the one thing I can do.
So, actually, Ian, you're better at explaining the measure.
Hold on, I might just roll an initiative because this says you decide what action the creature will take and where with during. I just issue the command and
Okay, roll it then.
then it continue the thing. So I
Unless
assume
you just want to play the cautious summon rolls.
Minus, I guess.
It's up to you. You want to roll initiative, or it can go straight after you?
It rolled a natural one, so it can just.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm going to be nice and put it straight after you.
John, if you click with
Okay,
the
sure.
little left mouse tool, if you click with your left mouse and then you click and drag and then you tap with your right mouse button, you can do, it'll tell you like how far each movement is. And you can kind of set yourself on that kind of, move. Yeah.
Or
Might
you can
try to
use the
set
ruler
yourself
tool on the side and just measure it to begin
Yeah.
with. But each square is 5 feet. Moving diagonals is 5 feet. We're fine with that. I mean, if a piece of terrain looks like it elevates, ask. But usually, if it elevates on one square, that's 5 foot of movement to climb it, so on and so forth. But yeah, some of the maps I've made, some of the maps I've found. So if there's something that looks weird, ask about it, because it might not actually be a pot plant. It might just be like, yeah, sure, you can free move through it and all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Perfect.
But never to worry, you are a little bit down the order, so that's okay.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is Puck and Molokov, you hear the screeching of wheels, and as you kind of come out of your hidey hole and turn around, you do see Ghost lying in front of you, and then Hera a bit further down in this opening, but you can't quite see what's in front of her as well. But Puck, you take first initiative, so what would you like to do?
Yeah, I can definitely see like the glow up ahead, and so if I imagine like if it's like a forge, I imagine there's a bit of noise going on down there. Would that be fair?
100%.
Yeah, I'm probably a bit concerned. So Puck is going to use his movement and then bonus action to move again with his cunning action, and he's going to get right up next to Hera.
Nice.
And then
So that's when you see these 3 fiery snake-like creatures. They've each got spears in hand, and you notice that the spears are kind of almost glowing a little bit with that red energy as well.
Mm-hmm. Have they noticed Hera yet?
Yeah, so with you coming into the room as well and Hera crashing in, one of them has at least turned around. And I guess it all happens at one moment, but they seem like they were expecting the cart to arrive. But then seeing Hera in front, they quickly get on alert, and you can't quite understand what they're saying, but it definitely has the intention of intruder.
Yep. Wasting no time, Puck is going to shoot the one that's sort of like straight in front, that one there,
Sure.
with his hand crossbow. All right. That's a... Sorry, hand crossbow. Where is it? There. That's a 22 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. Go for damage.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong dice. It's a 6, not an 8. Yeah. That is 8 points of piercing, magical piercing.
Very nice.
And I'm going to use my reaction to flashbang it
Oh,
with this upgraded crossbow that Ghost gave me.
yes.
So they need to make a con save.
Con save for the salamander. We've got a 13 on the dice, which will be a 15 total.
Ooh, 15 just matches it, so nothing happens.
Nice.
But a big blast of flashing light goes off there.
Jalug, you see a bit of commotion, and then this flash of white light just comes out. There's definitely something happening ahead of you. But since you're not in the room yet, we'll wait for introductions.
And Puck's going to draw his rapier, expecting them to come and close the gap to him.
Draw the rapier.
And that'll be my
Hera,
turn.
you have Puck come to your side as you kind of regain your awareness of what's going on around here. These 3 creatures are now very aware that you're here, calling out like you're an intruder. What would you like to do?
So to see a fellow friend on the Howard had not been with us, so that's also extra nice. And I'll turn to my little mate, and I'll sort of put my hand on his shoulder and keep us safe, protect us, and I'll give him the command to essentially keep us safe. I will. Yeah, I suppose this guy's closest in front of me.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't look terrible. Feet. Is this, sorry, the one that Puck just hit?
Yes, correct.
Was it that one? No, was that one? Yeah, I'll just barrier thing in front of me, pull my wand out, and I'll cast a Toll the Dead on him. So
Oh, very
wisdom
nice.
save, please.
Wisdom save. That's a natural 1.
Natural 1, so he's taking damage. So that will be 2.
And he's taking damage as well.
So he take 13 necrotic damage.
Nice. As the sounds reverberate around him, you see some of the flames kind of extinguish and try and reignite themselves, and this creature takes 13 necrotic damage. Anything else from you, Hero?
And I will...
These are walls, by the way.
Yeah.
But the carts are in the air. They're above everyone's head.
I will just move myself. I'll sort of like seeing that with drawn attention and mapping. My friends are following quickly behind me. I'll run over to that wall over there.
Sure.
Just sort of like against the corner.
Yep. It's probably worth noting as well that you notice that there is a locked iron door here. Or a closed iron door, I should say.
Oh.
But you don't really take any details in as you're focusing on the fight ahead. Now for your friend. What are they doing?
We'll sort of like glance down and see that it closes down there and just sort of turn back and just be focused on these silly members.
Silly Manders. Love it. Alright. Thriller's turn is up. Is he going to protect you? Dale?
He's had his turn. He's just left.
Yeah.
It's probably a safe bet that he's just going to go stand next to him.
It's only got 20 feet of movement. Oh, yeah, that's enough. But we'll get down to there.
Nice.
And it will just make a slam attack.
Super Slam. I forgot he's probably reading his stat block as well. This is a last game edition.
Yes,
Jono.
yeah, sorry. I was trying to work out what its movement was. So it will make an attack. It's going to be a 14 to hit.
A 14 does not hit as the salamander kind of like pushes this guy off him, looking almost disgustingly down at it. But it's actually probably worth noting because it is one of the yak folk, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You do notice that it hesitates first before seeing that it attacks it, and then it's visibly confused, but it kind of fends him off.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, can I make one attack?
Only one attack, so that's you done.
Done.
Alright, Markov, you're up.
Right. Just hearing a lot of commotion at the moment.
See a
Puck in
flashbang.
his usual manner.
Yep.
Yeah, Puck in his usual manner zipped off, and I heard an explosion. So I think I'm just gonna follow.
Nice.
I believe 30 feet gets me right next to Ghost.
Yep, 30 feet gets you there.
And then I suppose from there I'll see a bit of commotion.
Yep, you can definitely see this salamander.
Yeah. They've got like spears in their hands, don't
They
they?
sure do, and you're 45 feet from him.
Yeah, I think I am just going to action dash, and I believe another 30 feet gets me just in front of Puck.
Yep, it's either there or there.
Can I go one more to the east in front of Puck there?
Yep.
Yeah, lovely. Just gonna go, shit, what is happening? And ignite the runes and give myself some temp HP.
The runes on your armor
And
ignite, and you protect yourself. Anything else?
yeah, just raise the shield and look at almost challenge these things.
Okay, so this turn will kind of happen in a bit of a weird way, but Jalug, you're up. Take a turn as normal, but as you enter the room, if you choose to do so, can you describe what these guys would see in a bit higher detail than we did at the camp? This is the first time these people are seeing this character. We want kind of details, cool things that they might notice. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I think, Jalug will move, sort of breaking up the movement, almost just like continue to just slowly pace forward to the corner. And as he does, he sees, he saw the flash and the bang. He sees some weird giant lizards, then this fast moving blur of a thing, and then more, and then thinking it's going fast, but not as fast as that little thing. Just this cat kind of thing moves in front.
Their descriptions will come after this.
Yeah. But sees these. Can see the salamanders, which he is familiar with, responding somewhat aggressively, and so not quite knowing exactly what's going on, but Jalug will continue to move forward into it, and with his sword drawn, like his mass. So as he steps in to the room, but going to move. I think that's the end of my movement. They're going to move to the other side, sword out, kind of guarding against both groups, really. Unsure what's happening, but you see again this sword that is actually larger than he is. Like it is big. Very glad to be out of the tunnel where there's more room to actually swing it. You'll see that he's wearing well-worn chainmail with various, both underneath, some more padded clothing, over the top a couple of cloaks, this sort of, as you can see in the picture, just kind of braiding on it that definitely looked somewhat militaristic, but has over the years faded. And he is very much in a ready stance with his with his sword drawn. But that is, I think, all he will be doing on this turn. Sort of ready, not sure which way necessarily he's going to go.
Do you want to hold an action if anyone comes towards you?
I think, look, I think if having moved into that place, if doesn't matter who, if any of these creatures coming towards him, enter into his space aggressively, he will probably have
react.
a swing, bit of a warding action. But at the moment it's against anyone because he doesn't really know.
Love that. I think what we'll do is when it becomes your turn, you can describe what Jalug will see and how they kind of move and interact with each other. Just get a sense of where their mind's at, if they notice him, so on and so forth. But lucky for you, the salamanders are first, and aggressive they are as this one moves into your space. I'll let you do your action first.
Yeah, as it moves in, and he's ready with that with the sword already back. He's going to basically just be a big swing coming in. What's his kind
of combat style? Is it? You said it was warding off a little bit, but is it big swings, or how does he kind of hold himself?
In this case, because he's already back, and as it comes in, he's actually going to do sort of a big uppercut underarm swing. Because the sword was nice back. Yep, just exactly. Very much aiming to send this to long on. And this is good playing with Australians and New Zealanders who was like, oh yeah, we get cricket. It's okay. Just wait until I just absolutely butcher a rugby term or something, then we'll be all good. Yeah. All right, so that's so we're 18 plus.
Oh, here we
First
go.
attack. Actually, did a good roll. All right, so that is a 24.
That'll definitely hit, my friend.
All right. And that is 2d6. That's 11 points of damage. So as he brings it up through there, and then having brought it up, he will then just a slight little twist to bring the sword straight back down for his second attack.
2 attacks in 1 action. We like it. As everyone's heads go, what is this character? What is this character?
That is a 17 to hit.
Let me just check that. 17 will hit. Go for damage again.
Not as good. And that is 8 more points of damage.
8 more points of damage. So as the swing up cuts through this thing, you see like little bits of embers fly off instead of blood. And then you kind of complete the move by coming back and crossing back through that wound again. It seems like a good, decent hit on it, but this thing is still standing strong against you. As it kind of reels back, it will get its spear and kind of like try to prod at you. So it's going to make a spear attack first. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
That hits.
It hits, so that'll be 8 points of piercing damage. And 3 points of fire damage. As it prods you with a spear, and kind of you see it notify its other 2 comrades that there's someone coming from this angle as well. Again, you get the sense that it says like intruder. I'm assuming no one here speaks Ignan. Igniting language. Actually, I studied that in university. But what it will do is it'll flip itself around and try and just swing out with its tail. That's not as good. It's going to be a 13 to hit.
Miss.
Tail flicks around and you kind of like hit it away with the pommel of your sword. But that brings us to the top of the round. So, with describing yourself, your actions, your mindset, and your interaction with what's happening in the room, Puck, you are up first.
If Jalug, as he entered, saw Puck move, he is a small character. He's a halfling.
I was going to say, yeah, race and everything as well.
Yeah, he's wearing a cloak, but probably the most noticeable feature is the dinosaur bone mask with over his face. As he charges in, slips that over his face with quite a horrifying aspect. Kind of emerald green colored eyes as he raises his crossbow, and he is going to use sneak attack to shoot that guy in front of Jalug. Not necessarily knowing if he's a friend or not, but seeing he's the enemy of my enemy, Puck is one to take advantage of any situation if he can. Going to shoot at that guy. That's a 24 to hit.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
All right, with sneak attack. That is good. That is 19 points of piercing, magical.
Hey, nice. Yep.
And I'm going to use a charge of my Whales from the Grave feature as a Phantom Rogue. So let's go this guy, who I already hit, is now also going to take 2d6 necrotic, which is 6 points total.
Nice. Do you want to describe what this kind of looks like to this new party member as this green light?
This bolt from the blue comes out and fires off into this guy in front of you, Jalug, and this ghostly, slightly green aspect comes out wailing and calling out in pain, and you see out of the corner of your eye this other guy wince in pain as that psychically transmitted necrotic energy blasts off into him and damages the psyche, I suppose. So that's my action, and then as a bonus action, I'm going to shoot the one in front of Jalug again with my hand crossbow.
Yeah, go for it.
So that is a 26 to hit.
26. Yeah, that'll just do it.
That'll do. And only a 1, so only 6 points of piercing. Oh, sorry, 7. Sorry, 7 points of piercing.
7 points of piercing. Love it. Anything else you'd like to do?
And then as far as... Nah, Puck's pretty happy where he is at the moment.
All right.
Yeah,
As you
okay.
see this halfling shooting off crossbows, and then suddenly, like, another element has entered this battlefield as these spirits flick across the battlefield. These guys definitely seem equipped to be doing. You on?
I will move, sorry.
Okay, go.
I will... Oh, do I go to... I'm going to roll a dice to see. Do I go towards the new guy, or do I go...
Nice. I'm also
the
throwing
thing?
some images up in the chat, Jono, for some reference. But
Puck's going to move in here. And he's going to go
Nice.
stand next to this guy, and it's just sort of... Yeah, he's not sure. He's quite a defensive stance,
Yep.
but he's come in to, just to be
I like
there
to think
try and help.
between these three, there's a salamander that's like, these guys are coming from different directions. Jaluga's like, okay, there's a fiery guy, but there's also this little freaking devil running up to me. And then Puck is like, who do I stab next?
Puck is hoping that the 2 shots into that guy is enough clear of like, I'm not aiming for you.
Yep. And as the most charismatic party member we've ever seen, Hero, you're up now. Go for the description.
Yes. So
And I guess then describe your friend.
I can do that. So here is a tabaxi, obviously. So feline, sort of dark, blackish sort of fur, almost like pantherish looking, I guess. Has sort of like a sort of headscarf half strung about sort of thing. It's not pulled up over her face or whatever, but sort of that sort of look with like loose sort of clothing and whatnot. Has like a satchel on her side with what looks like just hundreds of bits of paper and shreds of sheet and just a couple of feathers of quills sticking out, and a sort of medium length little cigarette holder with a split on it, which you've probably noticed she is wielding as her wand. And to be fair, you can, if you sort of notice that she's tucked to the side a little bit, you can see she's blinking and looking around the room and definitely calculating, doing a lot of mental measuring and assessing the situation. Very much sort of sporadically not so sure what to do. But I will come forward, and you'll see her sort of reaching into her pouch. I'll move up to there. I'll move up behind one of what quite looks like one of the deceased yak men that you saw out the front. And I say looks like the deceased one because it is quite literally one of the deceased ones that has been re-risen, it seems. There's sort of like a greenish hue to this yak man and cuts along his body, which look like they definitely should have killed him. But I will pull out these bugs and small things from my pouch, and I'll slap my hands together, and I'm going to cast a poison spray onto the salamander.
Nice.
So that's a Constitution save.
It is a 16 on the dice, so 18 total.
Okay, that'll save.
You see the poison kind of like evaporate as it hits the fiery body of the salamander.
So I sort of get a bit frustrated and look around, and probably notice you and sort of be like, just tilt the head sort of thing where you're like, huh? Like, that's, what? And then we'll back myself up a little bit. And I suppose I'll look over to Molokov. And yeah, I suppose I'd just be a little bit confused. I look over Molokov. What? Who's what? But that's all I'll do. I guess this guy will go after me, and he'll just make another slam attack.
Yeah, go for it. Its undead body just goes and reaches forward and tries to hit the salamander.
18 to hit.
18? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That will hit. You have a damage.
Yeah, 18. Oh, nice. So that's going to be 9. So 9 bludgeoning damage.
Nice. Reaches up and slams into this salamander, doing quite a bit of damage, which is nice. Anything else from you and your pal?
No, I think I used. That was all of it. Just to confirm.
All right. Molokov.
Right. Molokov, never being the most initially perceptive, probably didn't see you as he first charged in, but definitely would have noticed after Puck started shooting in that direction. And he sort of will look over at you and sort of lock eyes, and you see an expression of, he almost double takes, and you think you almost catch like a recognition of a friend, and then his face hardens and he realizes, no, this is not Fargear. And you see also a Tabaxi, though very different in stature and I guess manner to the other one. He has dark brown fur with black stripes through it, and these sort of long white dreads flowing down the back, but sort of making him stand tall and straight is this almost impossibly heavy looking steampunk armor that surrounds him. And as you see him throwing off the cloak on his right arm, you think that's armored too, until you realize the whole thing is mechanical. And I think you're going to see his favorite fighting style here. He sort of raises this big round shield. Again, looks just impossibly heavy. And he runs straight at this guy that the zombie is engaged in. And he just bulls straight into him, shield first, and that'll be a contested athletics checks between us.
Yep, let's go down here.
Yeah, that's the one. An 18.
Oh, a 16.
Oh, it's actually a 17, but
oh,
still
nice,
good.
nice. As you bump into this thing, you feel that even though it is like a snake-like body, it's still it's all muscle. So it does give a bit of a pushback, but it does lose that contested. Is that prone or just bumped?
Yeah, he'll get knocked prone, and again, you see he almost just bulls over the top of him and brings that mechanical arm down twice, hopefully in his face. Get advantage because he's on the ground.
Yep.
Natural 20. That's a good start.
Oh, there you go. Just roll a natural 20 if you want.
Just off the bat. So that's a plus 4, so 12 plus. Oh, 12 plus 6. 18 points of thunder damage.
Nice. As you come across and knock him down, you bring that mechanical arm back up, and it almost like the Hulk in Avengers, boom, boom, comes down. Is there a second attack included in that?
There is a second attack in there. So we'll do that now. Much worse. We've got a 1 and a 4 on the dice. So
As you
I believe an 11 will not hit.
Yeah, it won't hit. The first one knocks it for 6, but the second one, it kind of slithers out of the way and you smack into the ground and it kind of crumbles a little bit.
But that'll be all.
That'll be all. Cool. That brings us back to Jaluk.
Right. Well, Jalug is having the unexpected, well, not unwelcome addition of this fleet-footed little man near him. He kind of glances out the corner of his eye. Yeah, new best friend. And just big double-handed swing across at the salamander in front of him.
Nice, go for it.
Or a 17, 23.
Yep, that'll hit. Go for damage.
Alright, and that's good. 11 points of damage.
Nice. Solid hit.
And that first swing sort of it was very horizontal, and it kind of clears Puck's head by not very much, but seemed quite well judged. So second attack, that's going to be a 14.
14. As you well judge it, almost there probably is a little hint of showing off at the same time. You go right above Puck's head and really cleave through this thing. But coming back again, maybe your judgment is still split between the party and the salamanders, and it seems to slither just quick enough out of the way, so 14 misses.
I am going to... I have a special ability. I was like, I should use this. It's as a hobgoblin. It's called Saving Face. It says, if you miss with an attack or fail an ability check, blah, blah, you gain a bonus equal to the number of allies. And I feel like I definitely would consider Puck an ally.
I'm going to say, I'll probably word this that that's a cool ability. As you were reading it out, I thought you were just going to be like, if you miss, you hit. But
no.
Okay.
It's even. Yeah.
I'm going to give you the +1 here because of Puck, which will make its AC, which I think is a cool mechanic. But the others, you're still... You see them fighting together, and you're very familiar of a group fighting together. It reminds you of 6 years ago when you had that party. But... Yes, Puck?
Can I flavor that a little bit?
Yeah.
I feel like instead of the swing coming the other way, I think what you do is you start the swing across Puck's head, like you go from him first, kind of thing. And Puck faints that little bit, just sort of like sees it coming, and I think the salamander probably thinks that you're attacking Puck because they're not exactly sure, and so Puck is going to just go down that little bit. And he's going to stomp on the salamander's foot, which is going to make the salamander just sort of like pull up and away from it. As it sees the attack coming, and it starts going down, gets stomped on the foot, and just sort of backs up a little bit like that.
Yep. I'll allow it, yeah, as you go to, and you've almost made like a kind of a team move with this person you've never met before, but it gives you that, I think for Jalug, you haven't fought alongside someone in a while. And it's just that kind of that 1-2, you hit with a shield, I'll hit with a sword kind of combo move that it almost gives you a bit of, gusto. But you do make that second hit connect, so go for damage.
Awesome. That is 13 points of damage.
Nice. As you cut through, more embers come out, and it's looking pretty weak now.
And I'm going to also just add. Sorry, I was going to do it at the same time. As that comes through, there's sort of just again that all of this is just building something inside him. As you said, kind of unlocking these these memories of fighting as a group, and so he's going to add an extra 5 points of force damage into that attack, as you sort of just see almost an additional, as the blade cleaves into him, an additional like just jam through, sort of a faint greeny blue light just pulses for just a split second if you were paying very close attention.
I think Puck would be the only one to notice this.
Yeah.
But it almost gives him a
5
bit more
force damage.
bit more oomph through the thing, and it happens too quickly to work out what's powered it. Maybe it's an item, maybe it's a bit of something in his shoulders. You've seen Molokov do it, but yeah, that all kind of happens at once. Already doing combos. Fits right in. Cool.
And I think that's it. Yep.
Awesome. That brings us to the Salamander's turn, and so what it's going to do is I'm going to roll a d6 here because it's had someone introed into this fight. It's going to go 1 spear attack at you, Jalug, for a 15 to hit.
That misses.
Misses. Spear gets deflected off, but what you do notice is the tail flicks out and tries to go for Puck. That's better. That's going to be an 18.
18 hits.
That is 11 points of bludgeoning damage and 3 points of fire damage.
Okay, so the 3 points of fire damage I will halve because I got given resistance to fire from Ghost last session. So that becomes 1. And then the 11 points, I'm going to use my uncanny dodge to halve that as well. So that's going to come down to 5, so 6 total damage.
Nice. As the tail hits and tries to wrap around you, I do need a dexterity check, please. Which I think you'll be fine on.
Ooh. I rolled a 16 and Dex plus 5, 21.
That's fine. You see it curls, and you can imagine it's probably trying to grab something, but that doesn't comprehend in your language grabbing something, so it just swivels around on the ground and doesn't do any effect. What I will do this turn is activate the other 2 salamanders, which I forgot last turn. This one is prone and on the ground, so what it's going to do is it's going to try and grapple you, Molokov. So it's going to do that with a contested strength check.
Not great. 9 on the dice. It's just strength, not athletics.
You can go athletics.
16.
16. This time it does beat you with an 18. As the tail wraps around you and kind of squeezes a little bit. You are grappled, but what that means is it gets an advantage on its spear attack. So let's get the spear into you. Okay, plus. So 19 to hit.
Yes. Glances off the armor.
You can see it getting quite frustrated at this thing here and almost just shoves this zombie away, but it's focusing its attacks on you. The third salamander will come in here and see the party kind of split like this. And what it's going to do is it's going to attempt to throw its spear at Hera. It'll move 5 more feet. So Hera, if you're there, you've got a spear coming at you. Ooh, for like a 24 to hit. Which I know that hits. Dale, you there?
So,
A 24 to hit you with a spear being thrown across.
maybe a little bit more. 24, yep, definitely.
Yep.
Yep.
That's going to do 11 points of piercing. And 3 points of fire.
So, how much damage?
11 piercing, 3 fire.
Fuck. Legs. Can you type it?
Did you get that?
Piercing through 5. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
But that's their turn. So Puck, you're up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
taking that
ouch.
glancing blow and the thing trying to grab me and being able to shake it off, Puck is going to immediately take that and that momentum of the flicking the arm off, spin and go for a stab with the rapier.
Nice. You are in combat with, I would consider, an ally since they got the bonus from you, so you can have advantage on that roll if you so choose.
Sweet. Second one. That is a natural 20.
Oh, here we go. Just if you would like to
everyone
roll
can
the
come back in
dice
5 minutes when I've done the maths.
If you would like to roll the dice, you can. I can guarantee you're going to kill it.
Look, I'll do it because
Go
it's
for
fun.
it. Go for it. And you get
24
the
on
full
the
description
dice.
on this one.
Yeah.
Even tying into the last move, I think that would be awesome.
Okay, sorry. So it is.
But just to intimidate Jono, what's the number of damage you deal?
What's that? 18 plus 23 plus 8, 31 plus 4, 35 points of damage. Yeah, it's throwing sneak attack in there. Yeah, so Puck is going to stomp on this guy's foot, and then it's going to wrap its hand around him, and he's kind of just going to do a little spin move and then jump as this thing sort of like is pulled back and it's straight through the jugular. And as he jumps up, he's then going to quite acrobatically kick, like, once it's in, it's kind of having a hard time getting it out. It's in, he jumps up, he puts his feet on the guy's chest, and he's going to flick out and pull away as the body crumples to the ground. And as he does that, another whale from the grave comes out, and let's just go against the one that we've already been hitting. So it's another 2d6 on that guy, which is 5 total necrotic.
Yep, nice.
Excuse me. And then Puck's gonna. I don't know if you can see it through his mask necessarily, but he's gonna like wink a little bit and just sort of you see a little look up at you. We're both sort of showing off a little bit. Before he's going to, I guess, just flourish his sword a little bit at the guy who's just coming out from south of him, and he's gonna hold his ground but be ready.
Love it. All right, Hera, you're up.
Seeing that the sky seems to be well Molokoved, I will sort of looking around the room a little bit.
This is the guy that
Where
threw the
those
spear at
chains are
you.
going, but like, does that? Yeah. Does that? Like, these are floating chains. Is that a wall that they're coming out of there, or is that keep going? That does keep going. Ah, okay. I was about to say, is that?
So, what you do see with a little bit of taking a pause and looking at this room is it looks like they're taking stuff from the carts that were on the tracks and putting them into the carts that are on this chain. They're maybe like 6 feet in the ground. Like you could probably reach into them, kind of thing. But what it is, the chain is going from left to right on the screen. So it's going from here to here. They seem here is a gap in the wall only big enough for the cart and the chain. So if you were to go through, you'd have to get into the cart. Over this side, you see that the carts get lids placed on them and they go out the wall here. But the wall gap is not big enough to look through. It kind of the chain is just going through. They are moving with not speed, but definitely like constant movement around. So your best guess is that they were loading materials into them and they were getting sent off into a direction.
Yeah, gotcha. That's cool. Okay. Pressing matters, I suppose. I will just sort of sort of wince and take a step forward where that wound was, holding onto it, and I'll be sort of holding it with my left hand with the right hand. I'll cast a ray of sickness as a sort of crackling beam of green energy fires out.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a spell slot. Attack roll. That's 20, guys. It's a 12.
12 will not hit, unfortunately.
No. Do I want to? I suppose I would have simplified. Suppose are these like wooden panels ish?
Yeah, like the kind of end of train stops, like they've got the plank across with the two iron things to stop the cart. There is a cart sitting here as well, I should mention, the one that crashed into you.
Hoist myself over. In that
Okay.
case, I might just hop up over into the cart and sort of just try and take some cover.
Sure. And your zombie?
Protecting us. So he will make a slam attack against this guy.
Yep, go for it.
Is he on the ground?
He is prone, yes, so
Is that
advantage.
Oh, 19 on the dice.
Oh.
So that's going to be a 22 to hit.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
I would have been so mad if my fucking zombie got a nat 20.
Malkov, you're coming up, by the way.
That's 5. That's a +4, so that's only going to be 5 bludgeoning damage.
Nice, solid hit, helping Molotov out.
Slams down and just sort of
Love it.
just give like a thumbs up. Thumb's kind of broken.
Does a thumbs up and it like falls off. Molotov, being quite genuinely disgusted at what Hera's created, it's your turn.
And yet, so proud.
So proud.
So I assume I'm still grappled, but we're both like on the ground.
That's correct, yeah. You just can't move away.
So I assume the advantages and disadvantages cancel out, and it's just going to be
straight roll.
Yeah, cool. All right, yep. Sort of struggling with him. Just position myself so I can roll on top, and I'll try and give him a smack. Oh, for like a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh, I love that. So 12 points of damage.
Nice. As you smack him with that first hit, it looks disorientated. The zombie's attacking it. It's almost on its last legs.
Oh, well, if it hasn't gone limp, then I'll give it another hit. No, a 16 to hit.
That will just hit.
Excuse me.
Oh, lovely. For 5 points of thunder damage.
That's enough to do it. The second smack comes down and punch in the face as you feel the grapple loosen as you kill the salamander.
Lovely. Again, I don't know how much. I think I will. That'll be half my movement getting up off the ground then anyway.
Yep.
And I'll just move 15 feet. Yeah, I'll move right there.
Nice.
Lovely. Don't think I have any useful bonus actions here, so could do that, but that might fuck up Puck. So yeah, that'll be it.
Nice. Awesome, Jalug. You see this other kind of, maybe this one's the tough one of the group. Punch this thing with this mechanical arm and holding this heavier than it looks shield move over and come into combat with this last salamander that's like almost rearing up to attack him as well.
The carts that are traveling along in the air.
Yep.
Have they got? Can I see? Or because I assume they're like constantly moving, right?
Yes.
It's like they're yeah. And you said they're full of stuff.
Well, give me.
Not sure.
No. I would say no perception check is needed. It looks like at about here, a kind of temporary lid gets placed on them. By looking around and kind of just now taking a moment, the tunnels you came from look like they were being mined for material. Carts coming down. It appears that the salamanders are either putting that raw material in the carts here and it's going somewhere, and then they're arriving back, if they're the same carts, if it is a loop or whatever, empty. But also these tracks did lead up to that village as well, so maybe the village was bringing stuff down. Unsure.
Yeah.
But now, since the combat has gone on for a couple of rounds, there's nothing being loaded into the carts, but they're still going, and they're getting put the lids on, and empty ones are going out.
Okay. Are they like firmly attached, or like can I'm look what I'm going to do? I want to try and I would like to try and sort of reach out and kind of just try and like not physically but just kind of pull one of these one of these carts either off or like kind of pulling it down. I want to try and do that.
So what I'm going to get you to do...
Happy to roll for something.
Yeah. What do you think the modifier would be for your abilities?
I think it's probably intelligence.
Okay.
I think based on where it's how
it
seems to work. Yeah.
So what we've been doing is we've got a couple of different classes in this party, and they are all intelligence in different ways. Hera has intelligence of spellbooks. Molokov has intelligence of mechanics, so on and so forth. And so if your Arcana is a bonus, I would let you roll Arcana for this.
Yeah, I think looking at that, I think it's probably that's the closest equivalent. So I'm gonna try and do that as my action. That is 16 plus, so that is 18.
18. Molokov, you run up to the salamander, and these carts are going overhead, and you're careful not to do it. This one has reared itself up right under the line, and as the next cart goes above him, you see it start rattling and shaking, and then the clasp snaps, and this cart gets pulled down with some force. As you catch behind you, Jalug is reaching out with your hand, or with how are you doing this?
I think, and at this stage it's hand.
Yeah.
Like just like so he's hefting the sword in his left, sort of letting it can't heft it in one hand, so it's kind of on the ground, and just with his hand just trying to like pull down.
Yeah.
Like you if you looked, you would see essentially a pulling motion with the hand.
And this cart, it doesn't fully, I'm going to say it doesn't fully come off, but it kind of like swings down and knocks this guy. Give me a D12 roll, please.
Hold, please, as I find the dice that I never use. No one uses.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here I am sitting with 5 D12 out, just in case.
That is a 5.
A 5. So the cart kind of comes off its clasp, but doesn't detach fully, and kind of swings around the corner, hits this guy on the head, and does, I'm going to do 10 damage for that. I was going to double your roll. So knocks him, and you see it like knock him around. Molokov, you're kind of unsure what just happened, but still your turn, Jalug.
I will.
That cart then continues on, like kind of dangling.
Yeah. This will be interesting. I'm going to run in now and just move in against him, I suppose, next to it. And I guess while I'm doing that, I will also take a bit of a breath, take a breath, and just steal my as I run in, steal myself, and you see a quite a deep breath. I guess as he sets himself to fight again.
Nice. The salamander.
I'm using a bonus action ability, but yeah, we'll see.
Oh, okay. Love the suspense. Salamander has no spear. He has thrown it away. So what he's going to do is whip out twice with the tail. One at Molokov, one at Jalug. And we've got a +7. So we've got a 19 on Molokov, which I know misses, and an 18 on Jalug. Hits. That is 12 points of bludgeoning, 5 points of fire, and a dex save, please.
Dex save. It's a 16.
16. Again, you see this tail trying to grab onto something, but you're quick-footed enough to avoid being grappled.
And I'm going to use a reaction to, I guess, as part of that attack, just, again, having taken that deep breath, he's sort of going to almost shrug, but again, like, the full force of it doesn't quite make contact.
Okay.
Still gets hit, but anyone that's looking might see, again, that shimmery, bluey green sort of almost like a force field appear. Going to reduce that damage by 8. So, sorry, Reese, I missed the second part of it. I think that's taking about...
Yeah, it was 12 bludgeoning and I think it was like 5 fire.
Okay, 17. Cool. So I'm taking 10 off that. So that's awesome. I'll take 7. Thanks.
Nice.
That's me. Ooh, I did a lot of stuff. That's great.
You guys have definitely seen this guy hold his own in this fight, which is good news for sure, unless he turns on you. But Puck, you're up.
Yep. Admiring the ingenuity, Puck is going to... It's probably just going to move in and stab, honestly.
Nice. As the three of you line up, you take your stance.
All right. That's a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
And I'm going to chuck in sneak attack. That is 18 points of damage.
Nice. First time this guy's being kind of hit properly. That is a good, decent hit.
Right. And then I will bonus action hand rapier.
Yep.
Hand crossbow, sorry.
Load your rapier into the crossbow.
Yeah. That's a
musket.
16 to hit.
16 will just hit.
Cool. And then that is 11 points of piercing.
Very nice. Come in, start cutting and piercing this guy. Anything else from you?
No, that's it.
Okay. Hera.
Okay. Is anybody... Sorry, let me rephrase. Is anyone from the original party injured by that salamander?
Not by that one, but I have been hurt by the other one, but only like a little bit, like barely.
Yeah. No, I didn't think you had taken much damage. Okay, no, that's cool. In that case, yeah, I think seeing that this one has taken some hits now of itself, I will get a little bit closer over to there, and I will tap the cigarette holder and reverberate the sound out to it, and I'll toll the dead again. So it's a wisdom save, please.
Wisdom save. That is a 10.
A 10. That is going to fail, sir. So I'm going to use these 2 dice. That's going to be 9 necrotic damage.
9 necrotic damage. Nice. As the sound reverberates around and starts to extinguish the flames, it's looking pretty weak now. All these attacks coming from all angles. It's getting a bit overwhelmed. Anything else? Zombie Chew?
Yeah. He can't really get anywhere, but I suppose I'll leave the same command on at the moment, so he will just move 20 feet over there towards the last salamander, just sort of limping away.
Comes up behind you, Molokov, and you're just like, this is my new friend. Yeah, gives you a bit of a fright. But speaking of Molokov, it is your turn. As he prods his phone until it unmutes.
One. It's very temperamental. Ignoring the foul-smelling thing that's just come up at my side. Well, I suppose it's probably not that foul-smelling. It's only been a day.
It's not even been... I think it was this morning that you awoken it.
True.
Yeah, but
yeah, true. Yeah. Right. Well, since we're all up in this thing's face, I see no reason not to try and put him on the floor. So I'm gonna sort of ram into him with the shield and try and knock him prone.
Natural 20.
For an 8. Yep. No, that'll beat my 18.
You can see that it's kind of being almost an animal backed into a corner, and it shoves you back, and it's obviously trying to fight on its last legs here.
I think almost as we're struggling against it, I'm just going to try and reach around the shield and give it a clock.
Yep.
For a 19 to hit.
19 will definitely hit, yeah.
For least amount of damage, so 5 points of thunder damage.
5 points. Nice. As it is kind of flailing around as well, like you notice everyone kind of sweating a bit. It's quite warm in here, but this beast is definitely giving off quite a bit of heat as well. But no damage is relevant for it, but probably worth noting. Nice. Anything else?
I will try and punch him again.
Go for it.
Much less this time. That's a 17 to hit.
That'll still hit. Go
Oh,
for
sorry,
damage.
not a 17, a 14.
14 will not hit. As it kind of like almost grabs your hand and shoves it away, and you see it burning up, trying to like get ready for its next attack. But anything else from you?
All
right, Jalug. This thing is getting attacked from all angles. You see this party working in unison. There's someone at the back ringing out this reverberation. There's this mechanical arm coming in, this little guy with the swords, but it almost feels like you can add something here. It's your turn.
Yeah, definitely seeing. Yeah, it's interesting, as you said, seeing coordination as an attack, and spurred on by that, Jalug is going to take just a quick back 1-2. Ooh, nice. 24 and 19.
Those will both hit.
Attacks.
Go for damage on both of them.
All right. That's 11 and 10. So 21 points of... What kind of damage is it? Piercing damage? No, slashing damage. 21 points of damage as he doubles through.
Irrelevant on what kind of damage it is, how do you want to do this as you take down the last salamander?
Yeah, again, sort of like you're saying, seeing this really cool, the way that this group just seems to know to be able to roll out of the way of each other, to at the last minute duck, or to coordinate, even if it's this weird undead, slow-moving yak person.
Is it a party member? Who knows?
Yeah, everyone looks weird, so like it could well be. Jalug is going to I think the first swing comes through, the second one is more, I guess, more of just a stab, just to kind of drive it down. Imagine after all these hits, the salamander, especially then having been hit in the head, has started to start to drop, and so the second thing is just impaling him on this great sword, just jamming him into the ground, and slides it off as the twitching body goes limp.
Nice.
And then he's going to turn to the other three. Sword not still sword in the hand, but not up in a defensive stance, but definitely ready.
So, out of initiative, this hobgoblin turns to you, and it is almost a standoff situation. The chain behind him is still ka-chung, ka-chung. It's still almost mechanically, that sound of like a factory going ka-chung, ka-chung. You can hear behind these stone walls, there's obviously more to this place. You can hear the sound of furnaces and movement. But you are alone in this room with this new face. As we're out of initiative, he turns to you with his sword, like Jonah just said, not out of hand, but not defensively.
Not saying anything, just eyeing you off.
Yeah, I think sort of seeing that he's not raised it again, sort of would have definitely still had the shield up and turned to him. And I'll slowly lower it and look to my side and see here, and I assume Ghost in the back there.
Oh yes, it's probably also worth mentioning. I'll let a proper description happen next week, but almost what does he do? Kind of almost an Irish accent of, oh, what the hell just happened there? As a half elf, but almost shorter in stature, comes out from the tracks. A lot of almost, you'd call them noble clothes, something you might see on like a higher up of a main city, but they're a bit worn and travelled in. He carries a briefcase with him that's attached to his side, and then slung across his back is what looks like almost a rifle of sorts. As he kind of adjusts his cloak and stuff, and I will allow the proper introductions next time, but will introduce himself as Ghost.
Yeah, sort of taking heart from the team. We don't normally meet friends here in places like this. What are you doing here?
Seeing the shield lower, and presumably the others also not, again, it's wary. Can see a noticeable relaxing in the shoulders, and Jalug will say, I'm looking for the forge. It is... something's gone wrong, and I am here.
Puck's gonna take off his mask. Well, you certainly know how to handle yourself. It seems we may have a common goal. For what purpose, may I ask, do you seek the forge?
I'm looking for some thing or one.
I'm not sure what you expect or hope to find there, but tell me, does this symbol mean anything to you? And Puck's going to fish out the emerald claw, the actual emerald penannula that he has,
Sure.
he took off a body.
Jalou, can you give me just a straight intelligence check?
21.
21. You kind of, at first, are a bit unsure of what this halfling has pulled out, but thinking back on it, those stories that you heard through the villages about maybe a certain person passing through, they referenced a claw in some aspects, and others referenced the color emerald. So you kind of put pieces together, and yeah, this weirdly, this guy is holding something that could resemble not necessarily what you're chasing, but yeah.
I have not seen this before, but I seek a dwarf. Why are you here?
The people whose, I suppose, symbol is this is they are trying to do something that we would like them to not be able to. They are, I suppose you could say, they are our enemies. We are seeking to, well, really protect and save the world. They are hoping to unleash great forces, and we wish to put a stop to that.
The zombie kind of just like wanders off and
You will, I hope, forgive a small amount of skepticism, and Molokov is going to pull from his belt a silver dagger, and he's going to hold it out hilt first to Jalog.
I'll take it. And I'll
Just a little
look at
prick
it
on the finger,
quizzically.
please, if you wouldn't mind.
okay, Ellen from The Hangover.
We've had too many run-ins with the sort that can change their form.
Would I know, like, does it just look like a random knife, no different to, or does it?
You would definitely be able to identify that it's a silvered dagger.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, a stranger has just handed you a weapon. You can give me an Arcana check on it. It's not identify. You're not identifying weapon or whatever, but just to see if you see any runes or whatever on it.
Ooh. Well, that's a 20, not natural.
Yeah. Looks ornate. Looks like it's got some design on it, but it doesn't look like it's been warded or anything like that, as far as you're aware.
Usually for Molokov's items.
Well, if you are trying to save the world, I will help. And I will click.
Prick
But
your
you
finger.
probably notice a little bit of you definitely suppressed chuckle at the idea of saving the world.
Definitely, yeah, you definitely notice that. And as you prick your finger, I guess now's a good time as any. Jono, does your character have any hidden lycanthropy or shifter qualities?
Just to throw that
no.
out of the fuck.
Yeah.
All that happens is a couple of drops of blood come out.
I appreciate your compliance. You can never be too careful.
That is why I am still alive. But why, beyond just saving the world, are you here? Do you seek somebody or something?
That's a slightly longer story. I suppose the short version is we were hired to investigate a few things, and we uncovered something quite large, as I suppose you can gather from what we've already said. We were double-crossed by those who hired us, and they tried to kill us. There are powerful groups at play here. We believe that there is some kind of mechanism or gate, and Puck's gonna like dig through his bag again and find the map and show. We were here in Khorvaire with the dragon symbol here, and well, that's where we were double crossed, and the dragon died, and that sort of opened up one of the locks on this continental sized magic, seeking to bring back a lost continent for the shifters. And as you can see, and I'll point at some of the other ones, we have information that this one here in Orndair has been also similarly unlocked. They're all a bit different. We don't know exactly what they are. There's one down here in Shan with the crown, and here in the mountains with fire. We believe it's got to do with either the volcano or the forge or something. So we're not sure what we're looking for, but we know that the Emerald Claw, I'll point at that little hand, the little penannular again, who are, well, we know that they've been active in this area. They've been taking slaves, and the Yak folk, and I'll point at the zombie that we encountered, were allied with them and tried to capture us, turn us into slaves or something. That's kind of why we're here. To be honest, we don't have a lot of detail. We just know that this is the right place to be, and that we're on the trail of those who we wish to stop.
Well, it's much beyond my pay grade, I feel. Continents and world saving, but if you seek to explore this forge, perhaps I can help, as my target may be here.
Is your target a friend or a foe?
I've never met them.
Is this a contract?
Of course. People don't just go around doing good deeds for the sake of it. At least not my people.
This resonates with some of you.
You definitely see Puck's brain just like churning through, okay, reevaluating what I think about this person, reevaluating how much I feel like I can trust them. It explains why he's good with a blade, that sort of thing. Well, I suppose that, at least for now, our interests lie in the same path. Did you have any information about what is here that might be helpful? What we can expect to encounter? I think we heard about a fire giant and his children being here, but...
A fire giant, your friend?
My friend is somewhat shorter. I seek a dwarven Forge Master.
Does that mean anything to you, Ghost?
I was gonna say, I don't wanna.
Ghost will probably say, well, I've encountered quite a lot of dwarves in my time, but there are a lot of them. I'm not friends with all of them. That's a very gross generalization that I think another country suffers from it as well, but we won't go into that.
There's a common misconception, sorry.
It is. Do you have the name of this dwarf? He might ask. Are you willing to share it?
Yes, the name means nothing. Balin's steel arm.
I'll look at Molokov.
I'll look at Ghost.
As everyone looks at each other, he will probably rack his brain for that name and doesn't recognize it at all.
I've been
What was the name? Sorry, Barlin.
Steel arm.
Balin's steel arm. I've been told that potentially he might be being used to forge items, and this forge seems to be remade. And of course, the village outside had some action. Seems like a place to start.
I suppose perhaps we can assist each other while we're down here. It's certainly not the safest of places.
You all seem to be able to handle yourselves well. So I shall happily tag along while our paths align.
All right. So you find yourself in this room. The chain motor still going, or the chain cart still moving along. But like I said, the gap that they're coming through in the wall is exactly cart sized. And by the time one goes, the next one is kind of coming in as well. A glance out shows that they go to separate rooms, but it's kind of not enough time to really get a sense of anything on either side.
Did the one that I knocked, did that come loose, or is it still going to be able to make it through that gap?
So by this point, it's already gone. They're moving.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Again, they're not flying past, but they're moving kind of like this. Like, you know.
Yeah,
Yes, a
just
conveyor belt.
consistently moving.
You would have noticed that it when it went to the hole in the wall, it obviously like jammed and then lifted itself up through the hole and then swung when it got to the other side. Definitely notable for anything further down the line that something is a bit broken, but you know, you don't fully understand this kind of stuff. Maybe it happens all the time, maybe it doesn't. But like I said, from about this point here, the lids are being placed on it by some other mechanism, but when they come in, they are not lidded. Open would be a good term to use there.
Not lidded.
Yeah, not lidded. Topless.
If only there was a word to describe not lidded.
What would you like to do?
For the sake that they look really cool, I think Molokov would like to pick up one of those spears.
Sure. You go over and pick it up, and you can take 2 points of fire damage as you drop it back on the floor.
Lovely. Good to know. Roger that.
I think I will actually probably, without even sort of thinking, to sort of mention that we're all sort of hushed down and seems to be a little bit of converse happening. I'll probably make my way back up, around over, and go and inspect that big door. Just
Yeah, sure. There's not a lot of detail on it. It is made of iron. But what you notice is it's almost got like a triangle, 3 lines across it, one across the bottom, then 2 going up, and at each point is a hole. But the hole almost looks a little bit elliptical of sorts. Here, you probably wouldn't know this off the top of your head, but it looks like a forge door. You know, like these lines indicate like the flow of molten metal, but that's the only
Gotcha.
symbol on the door, is it's got 3 holes.
right, but there's no ornate designs or anything on it.
No.
Mm. Yeah. Oh. Probably leave it and sort of return, but mention that there is some sort of door back there. It has perhaps some sort of locking mechanism, 3 keys or the sorts. I don't know how do we want to proceed.
Oh, do you want to try
they-
and pick it?
I don't know if it's that sort of a lock, but you can have a look. Are these containers, by the way, are they like, for lack of a better way to ask, are they like Molotov sized or puck sized?
The carts,
Yeah.
they're pretty much the same size as the one that came down the track, so you could fit 2 mediums in there.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Decent chunk.
And all the maths that comes along with that, with all the different party sizes.
At the end of the last session, I wrote down rag-covered slaves up ahead being watched by salamanders. Are there slaves around here?
No, I wreck on that.
Okay, cool.
There's just
Yep, no,
salamanders. Looks like they were loading them themselves.
Yeah, all good. Cool. Yeah, I guess I'll have a look at the door and see if there's something I think I can pick.
So you see that the 3 things, they're about maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 centimeters away from each other in this triangle. Give me just an intelligence roll, just to have a look at this lock before you pick it.
In just straight intelligence, that's an 18.
An 18. It seems like you could probably pick one of them, but it seems like a door that needs all 3 to be kind of initiated at the same time.
Okay. Cool. All right, good to know. Yeah, I'll come back and I'll relay that information. I think I could probably get one of them, but it looks like you need to turn all 3 at the same time. So potentially we could find, if we find 2. Speaking of, have a look over the salamanders. Do any of them have a key on them?
Have a look. No, the only items they were holding were these bronze spears that Malikov has now singed his hand on.
Yep. Cool. I suppose there's only one direction left to us then. Shall we continue? Is there light sort of like down this way?
So that's another wall that the carts are going through.
Yeah.
And there is light that comes past them, but they are kind of very close together.
Yep. I think Puck's going to move over and go, just turn around and say, do you want me to have a look and then come back?
If you think you can come back, yes.
I was just about to say the same thing.
How tight is the gap with them, like between the cart and like the space?
It's cart size, so basically the cart goes through this
Okay.
slot.
And the
in wall.
carts are like a little bit over 5 foot long?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to get back through, but there must be. This must loop around because otherwise, how do the carts get back here? They must go in a loop. So maybe we should climb.
Yeah.
What sort of mechanism are we looking at that's lidding these carts?
Let's just say like it kind of grabs a lid and places them down. It's a bit hard to describe. Like it's kind of like what are you thinking? Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, yeah. As a mechanical minded person, I'm looking for a way to shut that down. To stop them.
Yep.
Getting lids put on.
I'm going to say that's going to require an Arcana check, and it's pretty high.
Cool. Yep, would be. Need you, and I need a D4.
If we wanted to stop the carts, I think I could manage that.
We
I think
could.
it might alert people that there is a problem.
Are we not going to do it on a 15?
No, it's a mechanism that does put the lids on, but yeah, to stop it would you'd have to like
too built in. Yeah, it's like built into the facility. Like it would be
Yeah, I don't want to give away our position as such, but I mean, realistically, we could just break the chain.
We could ride in the carts.
Yes, I was suggesting that.
It's an option.
I
so,
think-
like I said, it's about 2 medium creatures per cart.
I think we can probably.
Worried about getting trapped in.
Well,
Yeah, does it look like there's a lock? Like, is it just a lid sort of just sitting on top, or is it clamping in or something?
It's not clamping, but it's definitely like metal of substantial weight. Like if you were to push the lid off, you would have to. It'd create a thing of pushing the lid off. You're not gonna just poke your eyes out and look.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any helpful items or spells?
I can think of one in your inventory that would stop this whole process.
I think he suggests. Yeah, he brought that up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that's gonna help. Actually,
No, probably
what
not.
about the mechanism that is putting the lids on?
Yeah.
Can we disable that?
Malikov just tried to make a check if he could understand how it works and didn't pass it. Seems built into this forge.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, is there like an arm that comes out and does it? And we can just block that with like the immovable rod or something.
You could, yeah. You'd be leaving the
equally-
immovable rod behind.
And in the
Equally, we're just
time,
gonna let them know that there's someone here.
that we have been standing around and discussing
Yeah.
and thinking about what Puck said earlier about that they must be on a conveyor belt cycling back, so we'll eventually come all the way back here. I'm gonna just be keeping an eye on the chains, on the carts as they're chained, and I'm gonna try and see if I can work out how long it's been, and if I spot the damaged one that was pulled down,
Yep.
and see if I can work out how long ago I thought that was.
Yep.
If I do see it come past.
That's a good thinking. It hasn't come back through yet, but I will let you know if you hang out in this room long enough if it does. I'm going to say maybe 10 minutes has passed kind of thing.
We
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to get in the cart, Scott. We can just hang on to the chain behind it. I know that we'll be more easily spotted, but we won't be trapped. Why don't we just do that and get into the next room and, as usual, work it out from there?
That is true. As long as we go together, in that case, I would say.
Is there anything like can you see on the lids like because presumably they also get taken off and somehow there's a new one comes on, like do the lids look like they're damaged or like what's it like puckered
reused
or something from like molten metal that's flash dried on it or something like
Right.
that?
I guess you can give me a investigation check on them.
That's going to be a 6. So no, it's probably a little bit too high. I can't see it.
Yeah, a little bit too high, and even just being in this environment, they've probably got wear and tear over the years.
Yeah.
You have, I think you mentioned it before, you've identified that this forge has reopened, it's restarted after some time. So maybe these lids are centuries old, you're not sure.
Shall we just try and get into the next room as I was describing? I think that's probably our best bet.
I think so.
How high is
Yeah.
the chain?
I'd say 7-8 feet up in the air,
Oh, okay.
because then it's got the cart under it.
Yeah. So the carts are basically rolling along the ground then?
No, I'd say I'm trying to do this properly measurement. It's like a conveyor belt. You could probably lift yourself into the cart, or a normal sized person could lift themselves into the cart, and then they come down to maybe just above head height.
Okay, cool. Well, with his fancy ass boots of striding and springing, Puck is like gonna look at everyone and go, "Are we ready?" and get some nods, hopefully, and then just jump up and grab on, hand crossbow in one hand, hanging onto the chain in the other hand, as close to the thing as he kind of can get.
Okay.
To try and be a little bit shielded, and then here we go, mask back on.
All right.
Play much less gracefully. And the next gap, I assume, behind him, Molokov will sling the shield on his back and jump up, and I imagine he'll have to grab both chains and sort of lift himself up and try and
Yep.
curl himself in to make himself the same size
Hera.
as the carts.
Yeah, I was just sort of thinking. No, this is gonna work.
You got
And I
some
don't know.
extra baggage.
Yeah, and I'm not confident at my baggage's capabilities of swinging off chains.
There's always the option of getting in the cart as well.
Yeah, that's true. Old mate. I'll just sort of. Okay. Follow us as safely as you can. I will come along and I will tell him to follow us over. I guess in his capabilities, he'll probably jump into one of the fucking things. And in my head, I guess when we jump off the chain, I'm gonna bang on the side of the thing to tell him to
Get out.
jump out.
Okay. We can work
But
through that.
otherwise, I will just use my little climb speed and probably claws out a little bit to pull myself up to the chain and sort of hang my arms over the top of the chain and lie so that I'm sort of in line in the shape, I guess, of to fit through the hole in the wall.
And lastly, but certainly not least, Jaluk.
I think I'm going to ride in one.
Okay.
Rather than hanging on the chain. I don't know, you said that is it a thing that I can, obviously can't peek off, I got to lift off.
You'd have to do a bit of a jump and heave yourself in.
Yeah. Oh, no, but in terms of the lid, is it possible? Is it crazy heavy, or is it a thing that's you would be able to lift off?
You're going to be able to lift it off, but it's going to be a shove, and you're going to have to get rid of the lid when you choose to do so.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you want to jump in with my friend?
Yeah. Why? I'll get in. I'll get in my own one, I think, rather than in with the slowly decomposing yak. But I'll ride in one, I think.
So, Jaluk, you heave yourself in, weapons and all, and eventually you come under the mechanism that you see above you, clasp on that